Hello YouTube, this is ChardarYuGiOh here with a quick video, and today, and likely throughout the next week or month, or I don't know however long I decided to take this, but I want to talk about how to make the small-time money in YuGiOh, because it's a question that I get asked an awful lot, and that is, how do you afford all this, and how much do you spend on YuGiOh? And I really don't spend that much on YuGiOh. I have in the past. But for the past, I would even say, go so far as to say year or so, I haven't spent very much just out of effectively managing my collection and finding ways to get cards cheaply. And even recently, like within the past, say 3 or 4 months, I've started to actually just start making some small amounts of cash off of the game itself. Again, just through effectively managing my collection. Now, I'm not going to get rich doing this, and you are likely not. There are lots of videos talking about how you can make hundreds of dollars on YuGiOh through getting sponsorships or investing in thousands of dollars of singles and becoming eBay top-rated seller. But most of us, myself included, don't have that option. We don't have the resources or the time or the commitment or the skill with the game or whatever it's required to do that. But that's no reason you can't still make a little money on the side off this game, or at least just start breaking even and just stop losing money on this game, because this game's kind of expensive. It's a ton of fun, I love it, but it's kind of expensive. And the first step to this that I say is you have to get organized. There is no way you're going to be able to become an effective trader or seller or buyer or anything unless you're aware of what you have and you have everything organized. Now, my personal preference here is to have everything organized through a series of 3 binders. Now, the first one is your main trade binder. This has your valuable cards, your competitive cards, and almost everything in your trade binder, I feel, should be mint. Occasionally it's okay, like this Alti Lila is played, but it's an Alti Lila. It still deserves to be in the main trade binder. And I'm going to go into more specifics on each of these binders later. But you need a main trade binder, and then you need a secondary trade binder. Now, this one is where you can have, say, anime cards or damage cards that you don't want in your main trade binder, but are still too valuable to really relegate just to the crappy stuff. Like, this is a skill drain, that's pretty good. This is a deep prison. I'll go into more detail on how I set up this binder later on, but just you want at least a main trade binder and a secondary trade binder. Now, obviously, this is a really kind of crappy binder I have here. It's just like a 3-ring binder and some pages, which works fine for me for a secondary binder. If you want to go something fancier, you can. Like, I have the monster binder here, or an Ultra Pro or something, but it's not really necessary. Thirdly, you need, at least I feel you need a dollar binder. Now, I have 3 mini binders for my dollar binders. That you can set that up however you want. But a dollar binder is just either bad hollows or staple commons or just stuff that's valued around $1, that's in very good demand or even minimal demand, and just something that you want to move quickly and for a set value. Now, I see lots of dollar binder videos on YouTube, and I've had an incredible amount of success personally with my dollar binders. This is where most of my money comes from in this game right now, is through these dollar binders. So I will talk about them later on too, but I think you should have a dollar binder in addition to your main and secondary trade binders. And lastly, you need a way to sort all of your commons. Now, I make a little bit of money off these, not a huge amount, but I like these white collector's boxes for them. Now, these boxes are sold for about 99 cents a piece at one of my locals in Fort Wayne, which is just what I call city locals. So, they are an expense, and you don't have to use these if you don't want to. You can use tins. Most people use tins. Ultra Pro deck boxes, which this cost me $2 actually, but generally, those are also very good options. I like the white deck boxes because I think they're more, I guess, professional looking, and they don't damage the cards as much because they're more fitted to the cards. However, they're not as durable, like you can see these dents in them, which don't really bother me, but they're not as durable, so you have to be more careful with them. I know most people just use tins because they already have a huge supply of tins. Now, one other thing before I go, I'm just going to say this works best if you have an existing YuGiOh collection. I started my main movement, I guess, off with an existing YuGiOh collection and just started trying to turn a profit off of that. Now, you don't have to have an existing collection, but that's what I'm going to talk about most of my videos from, because as you can see, I have a lot of cards. I used to spend a lot of packs from when I was like 7 and stuff. I would buy a ton of packs. So I'm probably not going to be able to recover every dollar I've ever spent on this game, and you probably shouldn't either. But that's not necessarily the goal. The goal is just to start getting a little extra pocket change, or maybe a little extra money on PayPal or whatever, just so you can just stop losing so much, or just, get a little extra spending money. You can't really complain about that. So if you have any questions about what I've said here or what I should talk about next, just let me know, and peace out, YouTube.